Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Professor Anime, and welcome back to, yet again, another Boruto, Naruto Next Generations episode review. Today, we will be discussing episode 46 of Boruto. So, without further ado, let us jump into it. So when it comes down to episode 46 of Boruto, I personally believe that this episode was actually handled pretty well. The pacing was very nice, it didn't feel rushed whatsoever, and it just kind of revealed things of the Byakuya Gang that, you know, we kind of had speculations of, but now we have solid concrete information as to, you know, how exactly they went about their actions in gaining some of the citizens' trust, necessarily. Come to find out that we actually see in this episode that some of the citizens of the Hidden Leaf Village, well, most of the citizens, because we actually see a mob of citizens going after the corporation in which Denki's father works at, which is, you know, technically the most wealthiest place probably in the village, you know, at the moment. And we actually see that these citizens are causing a mob around this, you know, corporation, and it's mainly due to the Byakuya Gang's influence of genjutsu. Not necessarily, you know, it's because something the citizens wanted to do, but they were put under a genjutsu. Now, that probably isn't to say that some of the citizens in the Hidden Leaf Village were probably helping out the Byakuya Gang, but we do find out in this episode of Boruto that the majority of the citizens were in fact put under a genjutsu. I remember talking about this in my previous episode review because we did see that one individual at the end of last week's episode have a mark on his neck, which made me assume that some of these individuals could be put under a genjutsu, and that is essentially what is helping out the Byakuya Gang, you know, do certain things throughout the village. But there was also the case in which we actually have seen in previous episodes of Boruto that some of the citizens see the Byakuya Gang as a sort of, you know, noble thieves group of sorts, and see their actions as a noble cause. And therefore, seeing their actions as a noble cause, so to speak, this will in turn gain the Byakuya Gang some reputation to earn the citizens' trust, and for those individuals in the Hidden Leaf that see their actions as a noble cause to help them out in turn. So while we did see that, you know, the majority of the citizens were in fact put under a genjutsu, I still want to believe that there are some citizens out there who most likely ended up helping the Byakuya Gang, you know, with certain ways on how they went about their plans, so to speak. So I'm not gonna say that everyone was put under a genjutsu, but that is simply my personal opinion. What I've been really enjoying from this arc is the conflict between Ryoji and also Shikadai, you know, within these episodes of Boruto. Shikadai has gotten a lot of focus in this arc, and that is something that I really do enjoy from this little portion of Boruto that we are in right now, and I really hope we see more Shikadai in the future, because what he's been showing in this, just, you know, discovering, like, you know, I mean, these kids are young, right, okay? A lot of these kids are young, and they're very conflicted on how exactly they want to go about things. They know they want to be ninja, they know they want to be respectable ninja and protect, you know, the Hidden Leaf Village, but also, you know, Shikadai is conflicted with, you know, Ryogi as a friend, because he sees Ryogi as a friend, but due to the certain actions that he has committed being a part of the Byakuya Gang, essentially lying to Shikadai, he's very conflicted because he does not want to fight his friend. He does not want to see his friend get in trouble. We know that Ryogi is not a bad guy. If anything, he's just, you know, very, you know, manipulated from the leader of the Byakuya Gang, who essentially killed his parents, you know. So, I mean, seeing Ryogi like this, I like Ryogi as a character. I find the dynamic between Ryogi and Shikadai to be very entertaining, and it's just awesome to see kind of like the growth of Shikadai, you know, spring into action, because he's been very conflicted on exactly how he wants to handle this, but he simply doesn't know you know, how to handle it, and it's ultimately going to be the point into which, you know, he might have to take matters into his own hands, and that is probably something we are going to see in next week's episode. But you know what, thinking about it now, I think the main reason why I'm enjoying this arc so much is the fact that this arc seems to be utilizing the majority of the cast of Naruto and Boruto. I mean, because we have actually seen, you know, several characters that we haven't seen in a long time actually appear in this episode, like Hanabi and Kiba, Sai has appeared a couple times in Boruto as well, but basically what I'm trying to get at here is that we are actually seeing, you know, old characters as well as new characters appear in this arc of Boruto, and it's actually utilizing all of the ninja within the Hidden Leaf Village in order to track down the Byakuya Gang. You know, it's actually quite cool, and it's nostalgic in a sense, and it's just awesome to see all these characters once again. So that is like one of the main reasons why I enjoy this arc so much, because we see everyone taking a part in tracking down the Byakuya Gang. It's not just the Genin, it's not just the Chunin, it is also the Jonin. We also see Naruto appear in this episode, and him, you know, calming the citizens from what they were doing after they were put out of the Genjutsu. You know, his speech was very good, I must say. So it was cool to see, you know, Naruto there for that one little minute right there. But, I mean, I don't really know if we're gonna see Naruto appear more in this arc. This seems to be more of a story between all the ninja in the village and not necessarily the Hokage, even though he is a ninja, but you get what I mean. But the biggest thing that we did get from this episode is that the Byakuya Gang did in fact go to the research facility in which we have that, that scientist who goes through these technological developments for the future of Shinobi, that Boruto has visited in the past, that, you know, we actually saw in this arc necessarily, with Shikadai when he brought Shikadai that rare video game or whatever it was. You know, it was supposed to be a collector's edition or a limited edition or something like that, you know. So when it comes down to when they appeared in the research facility, they actually ended up stealing a scroll that basically was essentially a collection of all of the jutsu within the world, as far as what we know of. So the Byakuya Gang does in fact take the scroll of sealing, which, you know, what they could possibly do with that is beyond imagination. And now it definitely puts, like, possibly, you know, the Hidden Leaf Village and maybe even the world at stake when it comes down to that. And I like how Ryogi actually stated to the boss of this is that, is this really for the people? You know, are we really going to use this for the people? The boss, of course, turns around and basically calms Ryogi down, like, of course, you know, this is for the greater of humanity, or so to speak, something like along those lines. But we obviously know it's a lie, because he does have ulterior motives. And it really sucks for Ryogi, because it seems like he is, you know, he's a kid, you know, so he's manipulated by the boss man himself, and he's put in a situation in which he feels inclined to follow this individual for the sake of everyone around him. And I do believe that Ryogi does feel like he is being used. It's just he's not willing to accept it. He's in denial, you know. So eventually, hopefully, that gets resolved really soon, because I want to see how exactly that is going to be handled. But yeah, to see, you know, them eventually take the scroll of sealing, or whatever, the scroll that has a collection of jutsu, was like, whoa, okay, now you really need to go after these individuals now they truly are thieves. Like, it's bad. It's bad, because, geez, what they can do with that. But apparently, we end off the episode with Boruto and Shikadai on a moving train, where basically the last two Byakuya members that were not captured were, in fact, Ryogi and the leader of the Byakuya Gang. So we have a standoff between those four individuals, and we are going to see a fight play out between them, most likely. So, yeah, now it just brings up the question, with that scroll, could they possibly use jutsu right from the get-go, or would it actually take time to study it? I'm assuming it would take time to study it, but I mean, there's been, you know, situations in which, you know, people have picked up very quickly on jutsu very, very, very fast. And I'm not talking about just Sharingan users, so there is that. But we'll see what happens in the next few episodes of Boruto. I actually thought this episode was pretty decent. So what are your thoughts on this episode of Boruto in the comments down below? And how have you been enjoying this arc? Personally, I've been kind of, you know, conflicted with these arcs of Boruto, but I gotta say, I find this arc to be probably the most interesting of the series that we have at least gotten so far. Like, I really do enjoy it. I mean, and that's probably just due to the fact that, you know, we're actually seeing noble thieves appear in the series, and it's not just an antagonist that, you know, just wants things for the sake of his own use. I mean, we do have a character like that, but we also have another character that creates a very problematic situation for the rest of the individuals, aka Ryogi, you know, and the dynamic between Shikadai and Ryogi is just, like, so cool, I find. And then there is also the case with all the ninja in, you know, the village being utilized, not necessarily just a squad of individuals, but more so the majority of the village is on patrol of the Byakuya Gang, you know? So it's really cool to see that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you been enjoying this arc? Because I've personally been really enjoying it, and hopefully there is a big payoff in the end, because like I said, some of these arcs of Boruto can start off pretty well, but then it just goes downhill from there. But from what I've been seeing of these past few episodes of Boruto, I personally felt that, you know, these have been quite enjoyable. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please and thank you. And with that said, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.